Hello everyone! Welcome back to the 2v2 battle with me and Surreal. This is not our army, I'm starting with the enemy this time. We are facing off against a Dwarf player and an Empire player. We are bringing the Beastmen and Warriors of Chaos. For the Dwarf player here, we have 2 Thunderers, 4 Ironbreakers, 3 Quarrelers, 3 Longbeards, a Grudge Thrower, Ungrim Iron Fist, because Ungrim. Then we also have an Organ Gun, and I think that is it for the Dwarf player. For the Empire player, we have Demigryph Knights, one with Halberd. We have Empire Knights, a General of the Empire on a Griffin, Light Wizard, 2 Handgunners, 2 Free Company, a Great Cannon, 2 Outriders back there, Halberdier Flagellants, and a Spearman. And that is their army. Now, sometimes, me and Surreal just want to have a, let's say, a silly match. Just sometimes want to have a silly match. So my army is, we have a Razorgore herd, we have 2 Minotaurs with shields, 2 Minotaurs with great weapons, a Gore Bull, a Bray herd, or a Bray Shaman with beasts, and then a Beast Lord. And then Surreal's army is like, I don't know, 8 or 9 Chaos Spawn. There's a Giant thrown in here. We have Big Bird, and then a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, and then a couple, actually it's not, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spawn, not like 11 or 8. 2 giants, my bad. And then multiple chaos trolls. It's a bunch of, listen, this is a silly army, but sometimes you just need to be silly. So our opponents brought, actually decently balanced armies here. And we repaid them in kind by bringing dumb. That's what we did. We brought dumb. That's what this build should be called. We just felt dumb. Because, well, it started with, let me tell you, it started with Surreal. I was building a Beastman army, and then he just started giggling, because that's what he does. And I was like, oh no. And so I checked what he was bringing, and I just saw a bunch of Chaos Spawn and Trolls, and I was like, oh, is that what we're doing? Okay, fine. And so then I scrapped my, I think it was a Vanguard army I was going to build, and I was like, yeah, no, let's just do this. Let's get a bunch of Minotaurs. And then I had enough money left over for a Razorgore herd, which is why I have them. Also, they do really well against dwarves. So right here, we're going to fake out. We're going to fake out the enemy. We're like, oh, you think we're going to go right, but in reality, we're just going to pull back and go up the middle. Really, we probably should have just kept going right. I don't know why we decided to go up the middle. But that's what we're going to be doing. All of these monstrous creatures. Where's Big Bird? Big Bird's around here somewhere. It's hard to miss him. Maybe, there he is. Big Bird should really fly, So the enemy was responding to our initial movement by moving into the forest, which is a good idea to cut us off right there, try to get to this choke point and get the high ground. And so we're just going to give them more time to do that as we pull back around this rock, and we're going to go up the middle, right where a Great Cannon, oh, is there 2 of them? My bad, there's 2 Great Cannons are sitting there waiting for us, along with the Thunderer, or not Thunderers, Handgunners, and Free Company. There's our Manticore from my Bray Shaman. These trolls have been taking a beating from those Great Cannons. There really isn't a unit here that can take the front. We're all susceptible to the Great Cannon fire. Chaos Spawn are going to do pretty well against Flagellants. I mean, really, most things do well against Flagellants. It just may take a lot longer to kill them. So yeah, we're going to pile in the mid here. I'm going to try and send my Minotaurs through the lines to get into their Thunderers. You can see what we're doing right here. Or their Handgunners. I keep calling them Thunderers. Actually, these are free men. Or Free Company. Not even either of those. And then we're also going to go and try through these Free Companies and these Outriders. And then through the Outriders to get to the Great Cannons. That is my plan, while Surreal kind of takes out everything else. My Minotaur is just going to be piling in here, dealing with all the ranged. You can see the Outriders are not going to last too long against Minotaurs. They are very weak when in melee. Against, like, anything. But I know that we definitely need to silence those cannons. So I'm going to be trying to get through there. I think my Gore Bull may be leading the charge. I can't remember. Some Minotaur is. There goes Big Bird into some Handgunners. Meanwhile, the Dwarf player is up here dealing with my Manticore and a group of Minotaurs with great weapons, which is... I shouldn't have sent that Minotaur group up there. I think I was just randomly clicking at this point. We also have a Giant in the back here trying to take care of the Imperial Demigryph Knights. Meanwhile, we finally got a Minotaur group into these Great Cannons. Cleaning up the rest of their handgunners. Take a look at the general hit points here. Chaos Spawn still dealing with the Flagellants and the Spearmen. While the Minotaurs are up here dealing with some Dwarves. At least they're Thunderers. But really, these great, the Great Weapon Minotaurs, I should be holding back to fight against all of the Knights, specifically. Because that's what they're kind of there for. I forgot to do the slow camera. There we go. Right there, you can see they started throwing a net. It's a good move. As Imperial Knights start charging these Minotaurs. Let's back up and check out the Empire player. What's left of him? Oh, not much, really. To be expected, though, when you're fighting against, I don't know, how many do we have? Like 15 monstrous creatures? Well, units, not, obviously we have more than just 15. My Razor Herd is back here charging the rest of the Free Company. There may be handgunners back here? No, they're both Free Companies. So they're trying to route them off the field. We're routing some other units off the field, trying to get into these Outriders. And then all that's left really is going to be the Dwarf, but they are entrenched. The Giant at this point is about to fall to those Demigryph Knights and the combined fire of some of the Quarrelers. I was trying to shut down the Quarrelers as much as I could with my Manticore. We have gotten into a couple of their units, trying to prevent them from firing, because Quarrelers are going to do really well against Chaos Spawn. They've been already focusing some of those units down, so that's what I'm currently doing. And we just have a bunch of Longbeards and Ironbreakers to try and punch through. Also these Imperial Knights. Oh no! Ironbreakers throwing their satchels. You can see we're trying to get a flank going in on these Dwarves. Trying to run our units around their front line. There comes some Trolls. Still dealing with these Longbeards. And there we go. We're finally getting around the giant line of Dwarven Ironbreakers. This Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is taking them head on, along with one of these Minotaurs with shields that got kind of just caught there. But yeah, we're trying to get us around. Right there we have a transportation lead being dropped from Big Bird. Getting into these organ guns. Here come those Demigryph Knights, which are very annoying. Let's pull out again. So you can see what's going on here. We'll do slow motion. My Razor Herd is still dealing with the Free Companies out there, which honestly at this point I should have brought it back, but I kind of just forgot about it. Outriders, I think both are still alive. Yeah, those are both still alive. Light Wizard, we did a lot of damage, but he is still alive as well. Most of the Dwarven infantry is now in this circle, which is being constantly debuffed by Big Bird, and I think I used my Brave Shaman to buff also our forces with the Pan's Pelt, which does damage resistance 22%, I believe. Our Manticore at this point, I think, is dead or routed. I think it died. It did disrupt the Quarrelers for a little while, but couldn't kill them all. So that is currently what is happening. Brave Shaman is right there. My Beast Lord is over here. Okay. Thought he was still alive. So many monsters. Also so many Demigryphs. Here comes my group of Chaos Spawn. These are the ones that have the poison attacks. This organ gun is, I don't even know what, I guess it was shooting at my Chaos Spawn. There's my Beast Lord. I think that's the, yeah, there it is. Pan's Pelt just being dropped on all of our forces. Giving them some damage resistance. Currently getting shot at in the back by these Outriders who are still alive. There goes another transmutation of lead from Big Bird. Since they're so clumped up, it makes it really easy for us to buff our forces and to debuff theirs. I think at this point we get into their Corlers. Yeah, okay. So I finally got our Chaos Spawn and a group of Minotaurs, these are the ones with shields, to finally deal with these Corler groups that were just kind of sitting here continuing to shoot us, which we were pretty susceptible to. We also have a Dwarven Warrior with great weapons and a Routing General of the Empire. These units routed, but I'm going to bring them back shortly. Big Bird's still pretty healthy. The Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is taking a lot of damage. My Razorgore Herd finally finished off those free companies, and I'm pulling them in to try and finish off these Outriders now, because they are fast enough to potentially catch them. And then there's the hit points of everything else. The Microf Knights is still alive, but taking a lot of damage. Minotaurs, for the most part, have taken a lot of damage. My Gorebull is still pretty healthy. Brace Shaman is still pretty healthy. And a lot of the monstrous creatures of Surreal are also pretty low at this point. As is my Beast Lord, because he got surrounded and Ungrim is in there. I'm trying to pull them out at this point. That Gorebull. Here come my Chaos Spawn because we have finished off the Corlers at this point, and as well as the Grudge Throwers. And we are just like corralling all these Iron Breakers into a little area here. My Razorgore Herd at this point, I think, has finished off the Outriders. Yeah, because I don't think they were on skirmishing fire, so I was able to catch them and instantly routed them and shattered them. Actually, I think I just murdered them, because I don't see their unit flags anymore. There we go. So now the Razorgore Herd is going to be brought into this fight, and they are still, well, not exactly fresh. They're actually very tired, but they still have all their hit points. That's something. There we go. The enemy lord is just fallen. I forget which one that was. I don't think it was Ungrim. It had to be the general. Yeah, the general came back and died. But Ungrim is still there because he always is. Another charge from Big Bird. Big Bird is a pretty decent melee combatant. Like, he's not bad at all. Oh no, Big Bird! Run! There we go. Razorgores are finally going to get into the main fight. Razorgores do really well against the Dwarven high armor units, just due to their armor piercing and charge bonuses and stuff. They're like the dire wolves you want to bring against dwarves, kinda. Well, no, they're pretty good. So we're going to try and do some cycle charging with those Razorgores. As soon as your charge bonus is over, you want to pull them out and get them back in. And these Iron Breakers, man, all of our Minotaurs have armor piercing, but at the same time, they're Iron Breakers. Like, they just last forever. Forever. Get a decent charge on that group there. Surreal just kept pulling out the Dragon Ogre, Shaggoth, and Big Bird and just kept charging him in. Because I think that's the only units he really had left at this point. And there goes the Dragon Ogre in a charge. I think that's what was happening. Yeah, because, well, he also has Chaos Spawn left. But I remember he was like, okay, I'm just going to cycle charge these 2 units because this is all I got left. And that's what he did, and it works. So everything is getting pretty low at this point. Just pull out again and let you see what's going on. I used my Razor Gore Herd to some of the Corlers that came back from routing, so I'm trying to get all of these units to route again or break, like shatter. That's my goal. Only thing left here is a couple Iron Breakers that are left, and then Ungrim Iron Fist. But as you see, there are some units coming back from routing. It's a pretty close match at this point because so many units are pretty low. I mean, Big Bird isn't, but like most of my stuff is. Gorbel is popping a potion. No, Deadly Onslaught. Never mind. That's the increased armor piercing and charge bonus, I believe. There go the Razor Gores into the other Dwarven units that are nearby. And then they are going to shatter. With the loss of this Corollary unit, they finally break for good, leaving Ungrim and only just a few Minotaurs left. Brace Shaman, Big Bird, and the Dragon Ogre. Where is Ungrim? There you are. Think about this from Ungrim's perspective. This is just bad. There we go, he finally falls. And we're going to get a victory. With not much left. We didn't know, we didn't expect this to be a one-sided fight, either way. But man, we also didn't expect it to be that close. Whew. Like, if they had just killed a couple of my Minotaurs, it's a very good chance, or if they had killed my Brace Shaman, very good chance that my army would have chain routed. Like, I think I was really that close. And then, of course, Surreal's forces he was down to an almost dead Ogre. Big Bird still had some hit points. But still, they could have routed too. So it was very close. Good game to our opponents and to Surreal. It was a silly battle, but sometimes you just have to do that. Let's look at kills. They're going to be pretty high for our side. Aw, except for the Brace Shaman. 204 kills on this guy because he killed all of the Outriders and the Free Company and some Dwarves. Decent amount of kills across the board for the Minotaurs. For Surreal's army, yep. Actually, the Giants kind of just got picked off really quickly. I guess it's to be expected. They had a lot of range, and they were probably focusing them down in the beginning because, well, they're Giants. So the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, though, did really good, as did everything else. For the Empire player, we broke through their lines very quickly. But still, 12 kills on this Spearman against an army that only is, 212 strong. That's really good. That's really good. Getting 5 kills in general is really good. Like, these may look 13 kills on the Demigryph Knight is really good. Again, considering how low units we actually had. So this may not look impressive at first sight, but then if you think about it, no, this is actually still really good. These are all monstrous creatures that they are bringing down. Maybe a couple Razor Gores, but mostly monstrous creatures. Same thing for the Dwarf here. Again, they look low, but at 7 monsters from Ungrim himself, man. Like, I think they all did really well. Well, I mean, this one didn't get any kills, but still, for the most part, they all did really well. So hope you enjoyed that silly game with the monstrous creatures, and again, leave your suggestions below. We still have a few matches that we've already recorded, so again, if you don't see your suggestion for a little while, it's because we already have matches waiting to be uploaded. But again, hope you enjoyed, and have a good day.